Good day, YouTube. We're playing Kerbal Space Program today. Our mission today, this is the brand new Expedition Mark II. It's actually labeled or named the Expedition 1. This is the second revision of this design, however, it is the first one that's going on a mission. So what we're going to do is we're going to name it based off of the number of missions it's complete, or the number of missions it's been on. So on this first mission, we're going to call it Expedition 1. We will rename it after returning to Kerbal for refueling if we go on additional missions. So this is going to be the trial run. We're going to find out how well this actually works. What we have here, we've got Gerald Kerbal. He's going to be our first lander cam pilot today. He's going to dock here with Expedition. And once he's docked, Expedition, which is already fully fueled and ready to go, we'll be departing. We're going to go and we're going to swing by the moon. We're going to do a return trip. We're going to land on the moon, return to the station, and then we're going to swing by Minmus and land and return from Minmus. We're going to do both of these things, and then before returning to Kerbal. So we're going to find out if this mission is successful. We want to plant flags today, so that's what we're aiming to put flags on all of the bodies in the Kerbal system. And if we play our cards right, Expedition should be able to be outfitted to do all of these missions. That was the intention of designing the Expedition Station. It's very expandable. I might need to swap out some of these hitchhiker storage containers in order to carry extra weight in the form of additional landers, which we can carry them to other locations. The real trick here is getting a Tylo lander installed on here. Once we have the landing on Tylo is going to be the most difficult challenge we're going to face. Landing on Eve will be easy. We just won't probably be able to return. So we'll probably send a rover up or something to do the Eve landing. I'm not sure how we would get a Kerbal back to the space station. We might be able to do it using a probe core and chair, because the lightweight would give us that extra DV boost to get up there. But in any case, that's the outline of what we're intending to eventually do with this station. And we're just going to hang on and enjoy the ride and find out what all it can in fact do. So we're going to initiate our docking procedure now. We are using mechjeb 2 today. We've upgraded recently to mechjeb 2 because the new version of Kerbal Space Program is not compatible with some of the mechjeb modules from the earlier versions. Unfortunately, I might need to find some way to remove those modules from my ships, because at present I cannot actually grab them and remove them in the editor. I'll have to edit them out somehow. We did a very good job of RCS balancing this lunar lander. It has enough fuel to land and return on the moon or Minmus. The real question is whether or not we'll be able to pull off and stick the actual landing. And if not, it's going to turn into a rescue mission. That's fine too. Shit. I got a little bit close to docking port before I was ready there, and it looks like it latched on. And here we are. We are now loaded up. We've already refueled. Our station has full fuel and RCS. The only thing that's not refueled are these two landers, but that's okay. The amount of fuel that it's going to take to top them off once we get there, we'll just draw that from our main tanks and we'll have no problem at all. The only thing I really kind of overlooked on this is I probably should have set up some kind of fuel cross-feeding between these tanks just to make sure that in the event that I drain too much from one and we end up running dry, that I won't spin out at some point because of uneven thrust. But hopefully that won't become an issue, because the amount of delta V these things have, once they get low down there, we should still be able to return home. Alright, so we're going to find out immediately whether or not mechjeb 2 is actually good at lunar transfers. I haven't actually tried this yet, so I want to find out. I'm not exactly sure where that maneuvering stuff is. Well, let's start with one thing. Let's go to our map here and select the moon as a target. And it looks like we have a rendezvous planner and we can intercept with home and transfer. So let's find out if this actually works. We've got a 0.1 relative inclination, so we might want to align our planes first. So we'll start by doing that. Now, thankfully, when we set up this enormous interplanetary station, we planned ahead and gave it a lot of crew modules for spin torque, so it can turn. So that's good. So it looks like this rendezvous planner creates a node, and then you have to execute nodes using the maneuver planner, or you can execute them manually, which I'm okay with. I actually kind of like that method here of being able to use maneuver planner just for planning and execute manually. Why am I not turning? Oh, SAS is on. Why am I still not turning? This is strange. I have no control right now. Something must have happened because it looks like I've lost. Oh, no, I'm in. That's the problem. There we go. Okay. So I had it in docking mode still instead of staging mode. So let's find out how this execute next node thing works. I believe that it's going to point to our node here. It actually created a node on our nav ball so that we could do this manually. I really like this new feature. It's going to point to it and execute. We still have 12 minutes before the burn, but because of the way the nodes work, we lock onto that vector, and then if we warp after we lock onto it, it should, in theory, be in roughly the same spot, and we won't have to do any additional maneuvering to line up with it at the end of the warp. So I'm guessing that's what mechjeb's going to do here. It looks like that is what mechjeb is going to do here. So mechjeb is getting pretty smart. I like that. I don't know if we can count on him for the landing. I've not had any luck with that. I was doing some trial runs on Kerbal earlier trying to see if mechjeb could stick a landing, and he just can't. I've been able to use the translation menu to do it by basically bringing it to stop over the surface before setting it down. But doing that wastes a lot of unnecessary fuel, so I might end up having to try and see if we can stick these landings ourselves. I'm probably going to try it with mechjeb on the first go-round, but if that doesn't work and we end up losing a lander, we'll do the second lander manually in order to save it, see if we can get to Minmus and finish our mission. So it looks like we're ready to burn, and we're burning. This thing has a surprising amount of oomph for the massive size and amount of fuel that it's carrying. So I'm actually kind of pleased with that. Oh, I forgot to turn off these engines. Why is this engine still firing? Activate engine? Shut down engine. That's weird, I'm still getting the firing particle effect. It must be a glitch. It does not appear to actually be firing now, so we should be okay. One of the neat things about this station is all of these cool IDAs that we set up here that are lander cans. This, I believe, is the front. See, this is where Jebediah is hanging out here. Another lander can. Actually, this is a lander can, I think. No, this isn't. This is the large Mark II lander can. It's actually integrated into the station. And sitting behind him here. So we got Bill and Bob in this Mark II lander can. A couple of red shirts in this lander can. This is the rear of the station. You can actually see the engines, and if you fire them up, you'll be able to watch the contrast burning here. It's actually kind of a neat view. Unfortunately, it's hard to steer from here because nav wall. There's no really way to correct that nav wall. And we've got here, it looks like one of our side observation pods. We've got 2 of these. Should be the second one here. Yep, there we go. A nice view out of the side of the station there. And we've got the other Mark 1 lander can that we're going to send down to the Mun and Minmus. Alright, so now we are currently lined up for matching planes with the Moon. Let's see if this intersect with the home transfer feature works. Except we're going to have to do 844.4 delta V for that burn. It's coming up in 29 seconds. So we should probably execute right now and see if we can get on that node in time to execute. Well, that was a lovely waste of fuel. Fortunately, we still have more than enough to do this very simple lunar and mid-lunar missions. So we should not have any difficulty at all completing them. Alright, so this is done. Remove all nodes. Don't have to make a habit of checking every time. We're going to plot another home and transfer, and finally have one scheduled in 22 minutes with a burn of 842 meters per second delta V, which will take a long time. So we're going to go ahead and execute this next node and find out if mechjeb can time it correctly to put that basically that T-0 smack in the middle of our burn. Alright, so here we are in lunar orbit. I'm not going to be really particular about picking our landing spot. I just want to find a reasonably flat place to do it and hope for the best. Let's take a look at the map here. Alright, so as soon as we have some sunlight on our panels, I think we're going to go ahead and there we go. So let's kill our warp. And we're going to go ahead and undock. Oh, wait. I forgot, we do want to fill up on fuel first. It looks like it drained from those tanks, and it's not supposed to do that. I don't know why I did that. So. Right, we have more than enough monopropellant. In fact, I'd dump some if I could to save weight, but we're just going to have to deal with it. Alright, undocking. And let's pull away here real quick. Get our landing guidance on. Let's burn off some RCS fuel because why not? Let's get a little bit away from that station. So let's aim for right about here. Go for a 2 meters per second touchdown because we don't want to burn a whole lot of fuel hovering off the surface. And also because I know these landing rigs can handle that, especially at lunar gravity levels. The only thing to hope for is that I did actually pick a flat enough space to put it down. Hopefully mechjeb remembers to lower the gear. I'm standing by to do it myself. And there goes the gear. Not quite level ground down there, but it looks like it should be close enough to stick a landing. And it looks like next time we might want to do that at 1 meter a second. That did bounce a bit, so a little concerning. But it looks like we did it. We've got plenty of fuel left to get back into orbit and meet the rendezvous with our station. So let's go ahead and step out and put our flag down. Mergel Kerman gets to make our first step on the moon. How about that? Oh, he looks thrilled to be here, aren't you, Mergel? Plant flag. Site name. Black text, what should we say? Alrighty, how about that? I like our new flag. Wish I had a little bit more sun to see it properly, but representing Kerbin, the sun, in space. So it's going to be a short trip. We're just going to hang out in the lander can for a bit before we go. Forward, raise our ladder. And let's find out if where's our ascent out? Oh, there we go. So this one could be a little bit tricky. We're going to actually go 8 kilometers. Have to edit our ascent path because, oh, wow, it does sort of remember that we're on the moon, except it doesn't. So we'll start our turn at 1 kilometer. Hopefully it's high enough to clear our first mountains. And we'll end our turn at 8 kilometers. On the flight path angle, I forget what our actual is to intercept. But that should do it. Close enough. So let's find here our station, Expedition 1. We're going to rendezvous with it, set it as target. We're going to launch into plane of our target. Port. What the heck just happened there? It appeared that did not work. Let's try this again. Engage autopilot. What? What's going on here? Oh boy. Well, our Kerbal did not learn very well how to time rendezvous. I mean, it's because we're on the moon and not on Kerbin. But, so that's unfortunate. The good news is we'll have enough Delta V to correctly rendezvous with our station despite being on opposite sides of the moon right now. Or at least I hope. Let's see, relative inclination, let's fix that in line planes. Raise our gear while we're at it. And there we have it. We're back on board the station again. Here. One thing that we're definitely going to want to do here is make sure that our fuel is balanced. So we have some remaining fuel. We're going to put it back into that tank that we took it out of. Let's see, 962, 782, that one. And then we're going to balance this tank with the opposing tank on the other side as much as possible. So let's see here. $893 and 901 is about going to be there. So. Come on. Stop. This thing wasn't so laggy, this would be easy. Alright, so that's probably about as close as we're going to get to balancing that. Now, one thing we want to remember is that it was this one we used, right? Yeah, it was this one. So we're going to swap our Kerbal out here with one of the ones in the hitchhiker pod, because this Kerbal does not have a flag anymore. Purple. We want to avoid accidentally sending him down to the surface without a flag on Minmus. Alright, so next things next, we're actually going to want to transfer from Mun to Minmus. I don't know how well that is going to work. So let's start by selecting Minmus as a target. And this orbit is inclined. So that could be interesting. So we have a couple of options here for landing spots. We can pick a nice boring landing spot in the middle of one of these flat spots. Be the easy way to do it, or we can pick one. I'm trying to want to say this mesa up here. Maybe a little bit rough. It's really hard to judge the topography from here if it's going to be something that's too flat, or sorry, not flat enough to put down on, because just all of the lumps in the terrain is pretty steep, and that'd be a big concern. If you end up landing on a slope, things will not end well. So I think we're going to try it anyway, though. We do have 2 landers, so in the event that we splash one, knock on wood, we're just out 1 red shirt, and we can try it again. So let's try for an exciting landing position the first time around, and we'll go for a boring one on the second. So first things first, let's get out our map screen here. We're going to pick one of our landers. This one looks good. Who's in it? Daryl. So Daryl has not seen any action yet. We're going to use Daryl. And let's fill up your fuel tank. And Daryl is going to have his chance in a moment here. So RCS on, back off a bit. So our retrograde is going to be away from the station, which is good. So don't worry about moving out of the way. Let's switch on our engine. Let's find out if mechjeb 2 has figured this out. mechjeb 1.9 did not, so fingers crossed that we are going to make a successful landing here, because I'm not going to have the time to take over at the last second, knowing how mechjeb loves to land these things. A little fast there. Just slowing down. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Nice flat spot. And he touched down safely. That's awesome. So Daryl, go ahead and step out. you just drift in there, bro. There we go. You know, I wonder if Daryl could actually reach the station using only his RCS jetpacks. He might be able to do it, and if you time the takeoff correctly, you can get into orbit from here. Hey, look, there's Kerbal. So, why don't you go ahead and plant your flag? He looks like he's having fun. Nice screenshot of that, huh? Alrighty. So, already time to go. We're going to see if we can get mechjeb to do it correctly this time. not sure what was up last time, but we're going to see if we can't figure that out and get working correctly. Got a lot of fuel left. Look at that. Alright, so what we're going to do this time is we're going to double check our map screen, find out where our orbit is. It's altitude 22 kilometers. So we'll set this to 22. Add a descent path. I mean, we should be start our turn at like about 4 because we're on top of the mesa. And it ended at 8 safe. So next, I'm going to select this as a target. And it looks like the orbital inclination is, what is it here? It doesn't say what her inclination is. It's reasonably close to 0. We're just going to go with 0 and correct once we get in orbit. So we'll set our inclination at 0, and we're going to see if we can do our launch to rendezvous, if that will work correctly. And so if we can engage autopilot like we did last time, which I think was a mistake. Let's see if this works. I wonder if it's going to launch before or after. Oh, it's launching after. I don't think that's going to work. And we'll find out. And it did not launch. Well, so much for that. MJ, you did that wrong. Oh well. It's not like we were low on fuel. So we are now injected into orbit, and we are a fair bit behind our counterpart here. And I don't know how long it would take to catch up to him. Probably a lot. He has an eccentric orbit, too. I forgot to double check and make sure we'd circularized properly, but I guess we hadn't. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I guess what the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix our inclination. So there we have it. We have successfully reached both the Mun and Minmus, set down landers on both, returned both landers safely after depositing our flags, and we now have more than enough fuel to do our return to Kerbal and re-enter our holding orbit to get refueled for the next mission. And I think the next mission probably Duna, I think, sounds like a good mission to do next. I don't know if these have the Delta V to reach the surface and return, but I definitely want to see about setting down some of the smaller moons and things like that. So we're going to hit over no atmosphere moons using this Explorer minus Tylo. Tylo's going to need a very special lander for that. So let's see about getting back home so that we can call this mission a success. And there you have it. We have successfully completed our mission. We visited and landed on both the Mun and Minmus, returned to the station, and returned with the station to its original orbit around Kerbal at 94 kilometers. And this is our standard holding orbit, 94 kilometers, and 0 degrees inclination. All we have to do next time is send up a tanker to top off the fuel tanks, a shuttle to bring up a couple of fresh Kerbals, and we'll be ready to continue our mission next time. And I think that next time we're probably going to aim to hit probably Jewel, hit some of Jewel's moons. I definitely want to visit Bop soon, and Ike, and a few others. So we'll probably save Tylo for another time. I do have a different method intended to pull that off. So, but hopefully this was fun and informative. I know I'm long-winded. I'm going to try and trim this down and make this video as short as I can. Probably still be an hour of talking. But yeah, so that pretty successful mission there. I'm very pleased with the performance of mechjeb 2.0 version. I'm very pleased with Kerbal Space Program 0.20. This is version 0.20. And they've got a few more folks to work out, but overall, it's definitely it's improving, and I'm looking forward to the sort of new things that I can do with this station, with the other mission plans that I have in the works. So, until next time, this is